Merry Christmas, everybody. How you doing? It's PT, and I want to just bring you a quick word of encouragement as it is Wednesday. We are 10 days from Christmas, and I know many of you are excited, got your Christmas shopping done, got all of your plans in place, of course, with social distancing in the mix. But I want to speak to some of you that are walking through the challenges of this season. You know, for some, this is moments where they've never been this isolated, never felt this alone, never felt this kind of financial pressure, all of the different things that we could be walking through in this moment that can rob us of our faith. I like to call them contaminations of the soul. They're things that just happen in life that come to rob us of joy and peace, of life itself. And I'm reminded of this story in the Bible. You know, we're familiar this time of year talking about Mary and the birth of Jesus. But many of you don't know the backstory of why Mary was the one that God chose. Mary's parents, Joachim and Anna, they were walking through a difficult time. They wanted to have a child but couldn't do so. They had given 2/3 on a regular basis, 2/3 of their income to the temple. But one day, as Joachim was going to the temple to give his offering, the priest denied him access to the temple, saying, "You are cursed of God. You are no longer allowed in the temple." What a crazy thing to experience, going to the church, and the church won't let you in because they said that you're cursed. You know, they say in that time, in that culture, childbirth or women having children, it was a sign that God's blessing was on you. And because Anna couldn't have a child, they were considered cursed. It was probably one of the most difficult moments of their life. They were isolated, they were alone, and now they're forced out of the one place that could bring them peace and bring them solace. Kind of sounds like we are. You know, many of you are not able to go into church, or many of you choose in this season to stay home for safety, and you're isolated, and that takes the situations that are difficult and makes them worse because you feel like you're walking through them all by yourself. But God always has a way. And so as Joachim and Mary set up residence in this other place, the angel of the Lord comes and speaks to Joachim and says, "Joachim, you will have a child, and it'll be a girl, and she will be highly favored and blessed of the Lord." Anna, who's a little ways away from Joachim, gets the same type of visit from an angel who speaks to her and says, "Anna, you will have a child. It'll be a girl. She'll be highly favored and blessed of the Lord." That child that they'd give birth to would be Mary, the mother of the Savior of the world. And when I think about the fact that, God chose Mary out of all the women in the earth to bring forth the Savior, God chose Mary because he knew she would believe. See, Mary could believe that she could produce the miracle because she was a miracle. Because her birth was a miracle birth for her parents. And I'm sure she heard the testimony over and over again of how God came through and how God delivered and how God brought their dreams to pass. And so when the angel of the Lord spoke to Mary and told her that you would give birth to a son without a man, I'm sure there was a lot she had to overcome. But because she knew she was a miracle, she believed that God could still do a miracle through her. I want to submit to you today that you should have died in that car accident. That alcoholism or the drug addiction should have taken you out. That divorce that ruined you financially, you thought it was going to put you under. But God performed a miracle on your behalf, and he brought you through it. See, you can believe that God's going to perform a miracle again because of the miracles that he performed before. The same God that delivered you out of your mess before is the same God that's fighting on your behalf right now. I'm reminded of David when David was facing Goliath, and he went out to face this giant of a situation. He said, "Listen, the same God that delivered me from the lion and delivered me from the bear is the same God that's going to give me victory over you, Goliath." You need to speak to your current Goliaths and remind them of your past Goliaths, that the God that delivered you from everything that you've walked through is the God that's going before you to deliver you again. I remember years ago, I was living in an apartment, and I was a couple of days from eviction. I could not pay my rent for months. It was one of the most difficult financial situations I'd ever been through. And as I walked through that situation, I just submitted it to God. I'd done all I knew to do, and I gave the situation to God. As I'm sitting in the apartment, the manager of the apartment comes by my apartment, knocks on my door, and says, "I don't know why I'm here, but I want to ask you, what can we do to keep you in this apartment?" It was that moment that God performed a miracle on my behalf, because I love the way Fred Hammond puts it. He says, late in the midnight hour, God's gonna turn it around. And God turned it around for me in that moment. And it was that miracle that gave me faith for the next miracles that I would need going forward and the miracles that I need in my future. I don't know what you're walking through. I don't know how difficult your situation is, but you are a living, breathing miracle. And because God has delivered you before, He's gonna do it again. Let me tell you this, the same God that brought you out of your past stuff is the God that's going to bring you out of this stuff. But you got to hold on, keep believing, keep trusting, don't let go of your faith, and watch God perform a miracle on your behalf. Have an amazing Christmas holiday. God bless you.